Welcome to video 12.4. Today we're going to be talking about bivariate statistics, looking at two-way frequency tables. So what is bivariate statistics? This is the study of data with two variables or categories. Bivariate categorical data results from the collecting data on two categorical variables. Although surveys of data that contain only one category are interesting, we often are interested in how responses to two categories relate to one another. So for example, we may want to know how a person's gender, one category, affects what profession, a second category, they would prefer when they grow up. We may want to know if a person's hair, that's one category, has any relationship to their eye color, which is a second category. This type of data is summarized in a two-way frequency table. So let's look at this first one together. So the first one says that we need to look at the two-way frequency table below and fill in our missing boxes. So we need to look at our totals and subtract so we can figure out how many left for the missing cell. For example, we know 100 total people said to fly. 49 of them were female, so that means that 51 were males. So the next one we can't fill out that way yet because I have 60, but I don't know the total or the number of males, so I can't go to this one yet. But if I know 75 total here, 27 males chose invisibility, 75 total, that means that 48 are left for the females. The next one, again, I have to skip for now because I only know the males. I have two unknowns here. But I can add the total females and males for telepathy and add those together to get the total here, which would be 118. And then I can subtract 415 minus 228 to get 222 for the total males. And now I can look across, and since there's 228 total females, if I know 49 plus 60 plus 48 plus 70 already, I can subtract that total from the 228 to find out that since this adds up to 227, that means 1 for super strength. Then I can do the same thing for the males since I know that there's 222 total, 48 plus 25 plus 27 plus 51, and subtract that from the 222 to get 71 for freeze time. Now that I've done all that, I can just add to find the totals for these two. So 60 plus 71 to get 131, and 1 plus 25 to get 26 total there. Okay, now the follow-up questions. What two categorical variables are being surveyed? Well, the two different things were gender, because that's what made it male or female, and then your superpowers to get all these options in the top here. How many people were surveyed for this study? Well, that we can find by looking at the total. So the grand total is this corner right here, 450 people. What questions do we think were on the survey? Well, I'm assuming that it was something to choose either male or female, and then to choose one of the following superpowers. So I just wrote them out like they would be on a survey. Pick one, male, female. Which of the following is your favorite superpower? To fly, freeze time, invisibility, super strength, or telepathy? Okay, part D says, what two options can freeze time have a joint frequency with? So this is introducing a new vocabulary word here, joint frequency. So when we think of a joint, if you think of like a joint in your body, such as your elbow, it joins two things. So joint frequency joins two things. For example, if we looked at freeze time, I want to know which one can have a joint frequency with it. So that would be females, that can be joined with the freeze time at 60 here, or the males can be joined with freeze time with 71. So the genders are the answers there. And E says, what is the marginal frequency? So again, a new vocabulary word, marginal. So if you think of like the margins of your paper, margins are usually around the outside. So if I look here, the margins would be this outside. Well, these are just labels here. So what's a marginal frequency? Those are these ones right here. These are your marginal frequencies. So an example of one would be for telepathy would be 118 because that's joined with the telepathy right here. It's a marginal frequency though. It's in the margin. So the answer is the total 118. The last thing I'm going to define is relative frequency, which represents the probability of something happening, showing the percent of all people surveyed that fall in a given category. It's always written as part divided by a whole, which can be expressed as decimals, fractions, or percents. And we'll talk about this more in class. Have a good night.